All right, guys, welcome to a new vlog series called Flip to Riches, Union City. Why? Because we just bought a new property, and I'm gonna take you guys along, and I'm gonna show you guys how to flip a property in one of the most expensive cities in America. So if you wanna learn how to flip and you wanna see the journey from turning this ugly ass house to something beautiful and actually make money doing it, you don't wanna miss this vlog. Let's go. Okay guys, so this is the property we just bought. It's in Union City, California. And I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like now and what we plan to do with it, how much we bought it for, how much we're gonna make. And the craziest part, guys, I'm gonna roll a clip right now. All right, so yesterday we had a situation with a squatter and they had a gun. So guess what we had to do? We called 911 and the cops showed up and they were like, freeze, get out of the house.
Shotguns everywhere.
So as we get into the house, guys, he could still be in there, right?
Sending Ray in first.
Yeah, they have, I think he left a backpack, some clothes. And so, you know, sometimes with squatters, they try to come back. So we gotta be on high alert. We gotta get the guns out. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 2 tips. Number 1, when there's a squatter situation, you never wanna be alone. Number 2, you better be packing. And number 3, you better put your grown man voice on, real deep. Let's go. Hey, mother! If you're in my house, you got 3 seconds to get the fuck out!
Union City Police.
Okay, so welcome home, guys. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a very desirable part of Union City, West Side. For all the people in the East Bay, you guys know West Side Union City is the side to be on. And so as you kind of walk into the property, you can see the walls are terrible, but a fresh paint job is gonna really brighten up the whole place. You notice this dirty ass pink carpet. That's the first that's gonna have to go. The tile in the front, we're also gonna remove that, and we're gonna go with a luxury vinyl plank throughout the whole freaking house. Here, as you can see, there's popcorn ceiling. That is a huge no-no. Popcorn ceiling may be good for movie theaters, but they're not good when you're trying to flip $1 million home. So guess what? We're gonna spray this and scrape it all off. Walk through the rest of the house with me, guys. Very standard. Everything we're gonna do, we're gonna go white walls, new LVP floors. We're gonna be putting recessed lighting throughout the whole house because a bright house is a luxurious house. Come on down this way. Over here, the kitchen's quite small. Now we just pulled permits. We're not gonna be changing anything with the kitchen. We're actually just gonna be leaving everything as is and just swapping it out with new cabinets, new appliances that like. Come on this way, PJ. Again, remove this popcorn ceiling. We may keep these beams. If they're not structural, we'll remove them, but if they are, they will have to stay. Recessed lighting here as well. Now this brick looks pretty cool, but it will look a lot cooler once you paint them black, and that's what we're gonna do. Come on this way. Okay, these doors, all the doors are gonna be replaced. Doors, windows, we're gonna go brand new, dual pane, straight glass. And that's gonna make it easier to open, more efficient, buyers love it. Come out to the yard. All right, the yard, guys, we're not gonna have to do a whole lot. We're gonna get our landscaper here to chop all this off. We're gonna probably have them put a little bit of tan bark in these 2 areas right here. And we're gonna have the staging do the rest, okay? Exterior, since we're on the topic of the exterior, you know how we do it in every single one of our houses. White walls, black trims, and guess it, yellow door. You got it. But actually, because there's 2 doors, we think it might be too yellow. What do you think, Brandon?
Nah, I like yellow.
Yellow doors. Let's go
Yellow
back inside.
doors.
Come on. So a couple things we're looking for when we're buying fix and flips, okay? I don't want to see the house sagging. I don't want to see a foundation problem. I don't want to see the roof caving in. Those things can be very costly, very expensive. What I want to see is good bones. So as you can see, the stucco around us doesn't have any cracks. The house is pretty leveled. It's not shifting. It's not settling. The other thing that we want to look at is like, you know, the windows can easily be replaced. The landscaping can also easily be redone. As we walk through the property, again, what am I looking for? Settling, cracking, weird layouts. But I had just mentioned to you guys that this particular home does not have a weird layout. It's a very traditional layout. So again, what you want to look for in a house. Does the layout suck? Well, as I just mentioned, these are all cookie cutters, and the one that just sold for 1.44 million has the exact same layout. And you know, what I'm looking in here is any sagging. Is there anything that's kind of screaming red flag? Like that's gonna cost a fortune to refix. This particular is just ugly. Ugly homes where it's just paint, new flooring, new cabinets, new bathroom that will change the look. That's what we look for, guys. Because the goal is to be in and out in 4 to 6 weeks. You don't want to be stuck in a long project, because in longer projects where you're doing full gut jobs, if the market shifts, it's very hard to pivot and try to get the home on the market. Whereas in this particular situation, if the market's shifting by the time we're done, we can definitely drop the prices to just get our money out or just make a lot less. But ultimately, you don't want it to drag on and have your holding costs eat into the profit and then cause you to lose $100, $200, or $300,000. So look, you guys are probably looking at this kitchen and probably like, oh my God, it is disgusting. But seriously, guys, cabinet and countertop and backsplash, you're probably looking at about $4,000 to $5,000 for cabinets, give or take, maybe even a little bit cheaper with our pricing. Countertops, here you're probably only gonna need 3 pieces at $500 a piece, so that's $1,500. Appliances, we already bought it for $2,000, and then the rest is labor. So we can be in and out of this kitchen job in about $20,000, right? So don't be afraid of this, knock it down, have the contractors come in, easily replace it. Let's go to the bathroom. Same thing with the bathroom. The bathroom is disgusting. Look at this tile. This tile is filthy, and the bathtub is disgusting, but it's not too expensive. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna gut the whole thing. A new vanity will cost you about $1,000. New tub, $400 to $500 for a nice modern one. Tile, if you go really expensive and you go from bottom to the ceiling, that can run you another $3,000. So if you do it all up, you can be in and out for about $10,000. These carpets are hideous. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is disgusting. But you gotta remember, we're just gonna rip this all up, and underneath this will either be concrete slab or a plywood slab, and you're just gonna put new flooring down. So that can hit you anywhere from $4 to $6. And if you're gonna go really high end, it can be anywhere from $7 to $10 a square foot. Now, you can obviously go way more expensive, but we're flipping the property. You don't wanna spend $20, $30 a square foot on flooring. That's just ridiculous. You're just not gonna get your money back. So what we like to do, LVP costs anywhere from $3 to $4. Our relationship pricing is actually a tiny bit lower than that because we do it so much. And the person that installs it for us charges us about $1.75 to $2 a square foot. So this is about 1,400 square foot of home, $2 a square foot for labor. That puts us at $2,800. The material, about the same, so another $2,800. So for right around $6,000, it will drastically change the whole look of the property. The rooms are gonna need new closets. Obviously, we're gonna patch up all the holes. This bedroom, same thing, paint, and we're gonna replace all the doors as well because these doors are quite beat up. And then with the new doors, new doorknobs, new fixtures. Bathroom over here, same thing. Leaving everything as is and just gonna be swapping on all the tiles and really sprucing up the spot. So let's talk numbers. Okay guys, we had to step out because the house doesn't smell too good. So let's go over the numbers and why we bought the property. We bought the property to make money because this is a flip. And in order to make a flip, we got to talk some numbers to show you how much we're going to be making on the property. So we bought the property for $1,068,754. A neighborhood like this, comparable homes are selling for what, Brandon?
About 1.4.
Okay, that gives us a pretty good spread. So what are we going to be spending on? With construction, holding costs, we're looking at about $120,000.
That's right.
Okay. And then after we pay the commissions when we sell the property to the buyer's agent, our profit is going to be about what, $125,000?
125 to 150, yeah, depending where we land.
And hopefully, guys, no delays. That's why, the reason why we bought the property in this market, we're not buying anything that requires, 6 to 8 months in renovation. We expect to get this whole thing done in about 4 weeks. And you're probably thinking, that's pretty fast and that's pretty aggressive. Well, the good thing is that when we were in escrow, we had already ordered the windows. We had already ordered the cabinets. And so we don't expect any material delays. Now, the crew that we're working with is very well known and they're fast. And so that's why we think that at 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, this property will be back on the market and it'll be perfect timing because we'll be what,
we were right in that prime time spring market.
There you go. So stay tuned, stay along, follow me. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more of a breakdown with all the stuff when we hit back to the studio. But for now, peace. Guys, I haven't been back to Union City other than to visit my mom, and this is Union Landing. For all my Union City people, you know that this was the place to be in high school. You got the movie theater, you got Starbucks, Jamba Juice was here. But now they got Dave's Hot Chicken. It's PJ's favorite chicken spot. So that's where we're gonna go have lunch because I want it in and out. But PJ's like, no, give me Dave. I said, okay, PJ, you get Dave's today. So let's go. Dave's Hot Chicken, the hottest chicken in America. Gotta get on that. You get on that? I don't get the hot stuff, and especially since I know I gotta drive back to San Francisco. Man, if you have to go to the bathroom, you're gonna be in trouble. Brandon rode with me. I'm not stopping for the bathroom. You gotta hold it.
They come with fries.
Oh, they all come with fries? Oh. Whoa. Wow. I put Dave sauce. Whoa. Whoa. I like it. Juicy. That's pretty fire. How many calories is this? Not a food eating channel, but if you've never been to Dave's, I recommend it. In America. Damn, Brandon, take smaller bites. Jesus Christ. Ray, be a good partner, wipe his mouth. Yeah, get Ray eating too. All right, guys, contractor took the keys. We got to get into this property because we got to get an update for you guys. All right? Window's already broken, so now we're just gonna break the rest. Make sure you break all that so you don't get cut going in. Can you fit in this? You think I can fit in this? No. Do my feet touch the ground? Oh, it does.
No way.
Am I right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right there?
Yeah, you got it.
Back in action, boy. Anybody home? Yo, come on in. Welcome, guys. As you can see, we are rocking. This is about a week from the last video we shot, which was a little bit earlier, of the pink carpets, the dirty popcorn. And so as you can see right away, we got the tiles removed, we got the pink carpet thrown out, and you'll see here that we already have some new electrical, recessed lighting, smoke detector wiring, all ran. So the key, guys, when it comes to flipping a home is that you have to understand the timeline and you have to get your crew lined up so that when you close on the escrow, they start right away. Heck, there's even been some times where I've had them start a day or two before we close. Don't tell anybody because you're not supposed to technically take possession of the house. But I knew the agent, I knew the owners, we're good here. They let us start a day early and that really minimizes our holding costs. So you got to line up the crew because every day that you own this property, and especially with most real estate investors, we have a hard money in place. We have private investors. We're paying our investors 9% annualized. So if you actually do the math, every day that this property sits vacant, it's costing us $300. So you want to make sure that your crew is always working, something is always moving forward, and we're staying ahead of the timeline. So coming in this way, guys. So as you can see, as we walk into here, you'll see that we've already gutted the kitchen. We're gonna be putting in brand new white shaker cabinets. Now look, this is a tip as well. When you're flipping a home of this caliber, right? This is gonna be a $1.4 million house, which is kind of luxury for our market, but not like high-end luxury. I would say anything like 2 million and up, you really have to up the quality, and not so much the quality, but the material that you use. For example, if this was a $2 million home, we would have gotten custom cabinets. Why? Because you need that uniqueness, you need that quality feel. but this isn't quite that. So we're gonna be going with a pretty well-known brand. They're semi-custom. They come from China. Everything comes from China. And that will run you about $5,000 to $7,000 in the material. If I were to go with custom, I'd probably look at something between $10,000 to $15,000. You don't really need to spend that kind of money with this caliber of a home. So we're gonna get that same exact look without paying that super high price. But you have to understand that when you're flipping a home, it's good to go look at the comparables, meaning like, what are some of the other homes using for materials? What do they look like? And what did they sell for? Because if they're not putting custom cabinets in and they're hitting that 1.4 mark, chances are, guys, you don't need to spend that extra $5,000 or $10,000 on custom cabinets, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna get more money back by doing that, all right? Again, guys, what's gonna really transform this home, that's gonna make the biggest difference, is gonna be the flooring and the paint. We're also gonna be doing the kitchen and the 2 bathrooms as well. But as you can see it right here, we're not gonna tile the bathroom, the kitchen, sorry. We're actually gonna run the same flooring that's in the living room and in this living room into the kitchen as well. Why? We want that flow. Now, some of you guys may say, well, isn't that flooring gonna get beat up? Not necessarily, guys. In the super high-end luxury homes, you'll often find that they run wood or the same like LVP or white oak in the kitchen. And let me tell you why we decided to do that and not tile off the kitchen. The reason why, guys, is because the kitchen is kind of open, number one, and number two, it's not big. So if we were to tile it, it would be quite small. You'll see that it's like the cabinet's gonna run to here and it's gonna run to here. So to tile this little area, it's gonna look a little funky and it's gonna cause that disparity between the rooms. We don't want that. So again, we're gonna run all the same flooring right into the kitchen. It's gonna match beautifully with the white shaker cabinets. We're probably gonna go with the Calcutta look-alike quartz countertop. And it's just gonna like really tie in the rest of the home so that it doesn't feel like there's a disconnection, all right? The other tip that I wanna give you guys, and this pertains to the timeline, before we even closed on the property, we had already measured all the windows, we had measured the cabinets, and we measured the flooring. And you may ask, well, why'd you do all that? That's because we placed the order before we closed on the property. Why? Because the problem with waiting until close and waiting to order last minute is that sometimes, guys, these cabinets, the flooring and the material can take a week, 2 weeks, sometimes a month to get. We don't want that. We want to, again, minimize the time that we're gonna own this property. We gotta keep the construction crew moving. We gotta keep them working, and they cannot work unless they have materials to use, right? So that's why, as we speak, the cabinets are already ready. They're in the warehouse. The windows are already available for pickup, and I think the crew is on the way to go pick them up today. And the flooring is already stacked and ready for our crew to pick up as well. So in about 2 hours, they're gonna come back and be able to just start getting to work. So this is a little second living room. It kind of drops down a little bit one floor, so it has a little bit of a higher ceiling. We're gonna leave these fake beams here, or maybe they might be real. I think they can really work with the fireplace. Now this fireplace, the color, as I mentioned before, is a little bit old. If it was a bright red brick, we may consider leaving it, but because it's not, we've done this in the past, we're gonna paint this black, and it's gonna really become the statement piece of this room. Going back here to the yard, guys, I think I mentioned last time, they haven't done anything yet. We usually wait for the very last minute to do the yard. The reason why, because sometimes we can get in here and we can get the landscaper in a little bit early. They'll trim the weeds, they'll put the tambarks down, but guess what? Mother Nature is always constantly going crazy. So, in the past, we've done it, and then guess what? The weeds grow back. The tambark gets blown all over the place. And so then we have to pay the landscaper to come back again. We don't want to do that, guys. We want to save some money. Now, the one thing that I want to give you guys as an advice, if you do plan on planting special plants that require you to water it, that is the only time when I would consider putting them in now and telling my crew to, hey, can you water it every so often to make sure that they bloom or they grow. But again, we're in California. We don't want to use too much water. There's no sprinkler systems back there, so we're not going to put anything that requires that kind of maintenance. We're going to go with the low maintenance route that gives it a nice touch, but isn't going to break the bank. Cool? Let's come on over this way as I take you through the hallway and show you what else we're going to be doing. Luxury, guys, is made of two things: the look and the feel, right? So when we're looking at the doors, you can tell that the old doors were kind of flat. It can work. We could have left it, but it doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. So we're actually going to be replacing them with double panels. What that means is that it's more square-like, one square here and then one square here. And we're going to be replacing all the doorknobs because that's what people touch. Again, when they touch it and it feels good and it has a good click, that, guys, is going to get that buyer to feel like, man, I'm buying a quality luxury home. So white doors, dual panels. We're going to go with black fixtures because that's in. People do go with other color like gold, but again, another tip, gold is very expensive. And then in a project like this where we have to be very tight on the budget, imagine how many doorknobs there are in this house. Imagine all the pools on the kitchen. Imagine the faucets in the bathrooms. If we go gold everything, it may look good, but it's going to be adding like a couple $1,000s just to the budget, right? So black is a good alternative because a lot of brands are now doing it. It's getting a lot cheaper. Second thing I want to bring out to you guys, you'll see here, all the recessed lighting. We chose to put a few more in the hallway because before, when we originally bought it, there was only this one right here. Kind of dark, right? Because there's no skylight. Again, imagine with all the doors in, it's going to be a pitch black hallway. So we wanted to put more. We put 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do soft white like more of a natural kind of a yellowish tint. You don't want to go white because then that feels kind of sterile. It feels like a hospital. We want this place to feel homey and mimic the sun. So that's another tip. I've seen flippers put ultra white light in the place and you walk in and it just looks super weird. Next thing I want to bring up, what are we painting the walls? We're going to paint the walls white. And some people are like, well, Brian, that's so boring. Guys, there's a time to be unique and there's a time to just be efficient and be more general that's going to appeal to the bigger audience. Now, the reason why white looks good is because, as I mentioned, the light's going to hit it. It's going to look a little bit different. The sun's going to hit it. It's going to look a little bit different. And if you want that pop, instead of painting and then maybe having it discourage some buyers, we use bold stagers that put in nice artwork, nice centerpiece chairs that are maybe a bolder color. That's how you guys can make a room pop rather than painting a wall red or a wall blue. Sometimes, guys, you can get away with it, but in a small home like this, I don't recommend it. Go all white, go with the 4-inch baseboards, paint everything white, and then have the staging be the color that pops. Let me show you guys the master. The master's great. You see that it's pretty bright. You'll see that they've already started texturing some of the ceiling. They didn't demo this bathroom yet, and the reason why you may be asking is because while the crew is working here, they have to have a bathroom to use. And if we demo it, we would have to put a porta potty. Well, guess what? A porta potty costs extra money. So we told them to leave the toilet and use that because sometimes if they don't have a bathroom, guess where they're gonna go? In your yard. And that stuff starts to smell, it starts to stink. You don't want that. Come back this way, guys. In the bathroom, not much to really update you guys. We're gonna go with the pretty simple colors, gray tile, white subway. We're gonna probably run it vertical and replace all the toilets and the vanity as well. Okay guys, just to end this video, I wanna leave you guys with 3 tips again to just really hit it home and make sure you guys are getting some real value out of the video. Number 1, guys, is that when you're flipping a home, you gotta make sure that you know what your competitors are doing. You gotta see what kind of material they're using. See how fast they're selling for. And the reason why I say that is because most people, they come into a flip and they say, I'm gonna put the best of the best in this home. Well, the problem is, guys, is that spending more money doesn't always mean you're gonna sell for a higher price. And that's why we are very conscious about the material that we're using. It's got to look luxury, it's got to feel luxurious, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that premium, like expensive stuff. All right? Number 2, when you're flipping a home, you gotta make sure you order the supplies that the crew needs. You gotta order it early because the chances are in this supply chain issue, you might run into a delay. Windows typically take a week, 2 weeks to get. If you go with Milgard, it could take up to a month, guys. So if you know you're gonna do that, you gotta order it right away, because if you're delayed, guess what? The crew will not be able to continue work. And what's worse is that if they can't continue work here, they start working at another job, and now you get dragged out even longer. And number 3, guys, you gotta make sure you stay on top of your contractors. Call them every single freaking day, because the chances are if you don't, they're gonna go work another job. Here's a bonus tip, guys. When it comes to paying the contractor, never pay them up front. I see a lot of people make this mistake and they pay way too much, way up front. Guys, I give them enough to just get started, and I pay for the material, and they just have to work, and then when they want to get paid, they got to send me pictures of what they've done. When they do that, then I give them a little bit more, a little bit more. And basically what I like to see, guys, is that if the house is about 50% done, I'll pay you 50%. If the house is not, there's no way in heck I'm gonna give you 50% of the payment, all right? Because what the problem is, you might pay them, and I'm not saying these are all contractors, but they're very irresponsible with the money, and they always end up spending it, and then they always end up running out, and then they always gonna hit you back up and say, hey, boss, I need you to give me a little bit more money so I can pay my workers. Bro, what the heck? And that happens more than you think. So make sure you never pay them up front. You pay them when they get the job done. Guys, the reason why I'm doing this episode, if you remember, we flipped the property over on Gateway in Daly City. If you haven't watched this video right here, we'll put the link right here for you guys. Guys, on this particular property, we're making $600,000. This one may not be as big, but you can do it too. And that's why I want you guys to follow along, maybe learn, get inspired, start flipping some homes. And heck, if you don't want to flip it, partner up with us. You know where I'm at. I'm in the Bay Area. So if you got a deal, make sure you come up to us and I'll walk you through it. I'll say, hey, is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Or this is how I would approach it. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. Follow along. Make sure you subscribe, because I promise you, you're going to love how this home turns out. And I'm fully transparent. I'm going to go over what we spent, what we bought it for, and how much we make. I do that with every single video so that you guys can see the real deal Holyfield. Ready? So subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.